before your feet touch the floor, before the phone lights up, before the news, the calendar, the noise. Have you ever noticed you can lose your peace before you even get out of bed? Not because anything bad happened, but because your mind starts talking. It runs yesterday again. It predicts today. It worries about tomorrow. And suddenly, without moving an inch, your chest is tight, your stomach is tense, your whole day feels like it's already behind. A lot of people think the morning is just a starting line. But the truth is, the morning is a doorway, and most of us walk right past it. We wake up and immediately hand our attention away. To email, to headlines, to old regrets, to that mental list that never ends. And we wonder why life feels heavy. If you're listening today, and you're in that stage of life where you've carried a lot, work, family loss, health worries, money worries, relationship strain, this episode is for you. Not to fix your life in one morning, not to promise permanent calm, just to offer something simpler, a way to start the day without abandoning yourself. In Buddhist practice, the point isn't to force the mind to be quiet. The point is to learn how to relate to the mind differently. So today I want to share 5 morning truths, 5 things you can tell yourself at the start of the day. Not as affirmations you have to believe perfectly, more like handrails. Something to hold as you walk into a complicated day. And along the way we'll come back briefly to the story of the Buddha, not as a distant saint, but as a human being who also faced fear, uncertainty, and the urge to control life. Let's begin. Take one slow breath right now. Just one. And let the your morning start again. Truth 1. Thoughts are not facts. In the first minute after waking, the mind is already writing a story. I didn't sleep enough. I'm behind. This is going to be one of those days. I can't handle another week like this. And here's what makes it hard. The mind doesn't announce, "Hello, I'm a thought." It speaks like a reporter. Like it's telling the truth. But the first truth, the first gentle reframe, is this. Thoughts are not facts. They're mental weather. They roll in. They roll out. And in Buddhist mindfulness, one of the simplest shifts is learning to see a thought as a thought. Not as a command. Not as an identity. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to follow it. You can notice it. Here's what that can sound like in real life. You wake up and your mind says, "Today is going to be difficult." Instead of arguing, instead of obeying, you quietly name it. "Oh, that's worry." Or, "That's the planning mind." Or, "That's fear trying to protect me." And right there, right in that naming, you create a little space. And that space is everything. Because when there's space, you have choice. You can choose to breathe, to sit up slowly, to soften your shoulders. You can choose not to build your whole morning on a thought that arrived half awake. If you've ever felt like your mind is a noisy neighbor, you're not alone. The Buddha described the mind as something restless, jumping, grabbing, reacting, not because the mind is bad. Because that's what minds do when they're scared. So let's make it practical. Tomorrow morning or even later today, try this. Before you reach for anything, phone, coffee, glasses, pause and say, "Thoughts are not facts." Then ask yourself, what story is my mind telling right now? And maybe, just maybe, you don't have to live inside that story all day. Truth 2. I'm not starting from empty. There's a particular kind of suffering that shows up in the morning. It's subtle. It's not always dramatic. It's that quiet sense of lack, like something is missing in you, like you need one more thing before you can feel okay. More energy, more motivation, more money, more approval, more certainty about the future. And especially in modern American life, that feeling gets reinforced everywhere. You see other people's perfect lives online. You look at the list of responsibilities. You remember what you haven't done. You think about aging, about health, about retirement, about who will be there for you later. And underneath it all is this whisper, "I'm not enough yet." So the second truth is a gentle counterweight. I'm not starting from empty. Or in plain language, what I need for today is already here. Not in a magical way, not in a denial of reality way, but in a human way. Because if you've lived long enough to be listening to this, you've already survived hard things. You've made it through seasons you thought might break you. You've learned, you've adapted, you've kept going. That strength counts. In Buddhist wisdom, Suffering often grows when we believe something outside us will finally complete us. So we chase. We chase the next accomplishment, the next purchase, the next finally I'll feel settled moment. And the problem is, the finish line keeps moving. But when you begin your day, remembering, you're not empty, something changes. You stop moving through life like a beggar for peace. You begin moving like someone who can return to peace. Try this tomorrow morning. Put one hand on your chest, right over your heart, and say, I'm not starting from empty. I have enough inside me to meet this day. Then just sit with that for one breath. Not to hype yourself up, just to remember. You're not a blank page. You're not a failure in progress. You're a whole human being, and you're allowed to start the day from wholeness. A short story from the Buddha's life. Let's pause here and bring in the Buddha. Not as a statue, not as a symbol, but as a person. Before he was called the Buddha, he was Siddhartha. And the traditional stories say he grew up with comfort, protection, a life designed to keep him from seeing pain, and yet something in him still felt unsettled. That's important, because a lot of us think peace should arrive once our life looks stable, once the career is set, once the kids are grown, once the bills are manageable, once the house is quiet. But Siddhartha's story reminds us, you can have outer stability and still feel inner restlessness, not because you're ungrateful, because the heart knows something the mind doesn't want to face. Life changes, bodies change, people leave, plans fall apart, and if we try to build peace on control, peace stays fragile. So at some point, the story says Siddhartha left the comfort of what he knew, not because he hated life, but because he wanted to understand suffering. And eventually he sat down, still quiet, unmoving under a tree, not because the world became safe, but because he was no longer willing to be driven by fear. That's the invitation of the morning, not to control the day, to stop being controlled from the inside. And that leads to the third truth. Truth 3, I can stay centered in a loud world. Some mornings, it's not your own mind that steals your peace. It's other people, a spouse who's tense, a coworker who's sharp, a family member who's always in crisis, a news cycle that keeps your nervous system on high alert. And if you're a caring person, especially if you've spent decades taking care of others, your system may have learned this habit. Absorb everything. You walk into someone else's mood and you carry it like it's yours. You take responsibility for other people's weather. But there's a different way to live, a kinder way. The third truth is this: I can stay centered in a loud world. Or even simpler, I don't have to take in what isn't mine. This is not emotional coldness. It's not pretending you don't care. It's learning how to care without drowning. In Buddhism, there's a quality often translated as equanimity, steady balance. Like a deep lake, wind can move the surface, but the depths stay still. So tomorrow morning before the day begins, try this sentence: I can stay centered in a loud world. Then ask, what's likely to pull me off center today? Maybe it's a difficult conversation. Maybe it's a doctor appointment. Maybe it's traffic. Maybe it's that one person who always brings heat into the room. You're not predicting disaster. You're preparing your heart. Because when you remember, you can return to center. You stop living like a sponge. You become more like a mirror. You can reflect what's happening without attaching your identity to it. You can listen without absorbing. You can respond without reacting. And that's not weakness. That's quiet strength. Truth 4. Today I choose presence over pressure. This one is for the people who wake up and immediately feel the chase. Even if you're retired. Even if your schedule is lighter than it used to be. The mind can still run. It can turn life into a task list. It can turn the body into a machine. And you start the day already feeling like you're failing, because you haven't done anything yet. So the fourth truth is a choice. Today I choose presence over pressure. Pressure is sneaky. It disguises itself as responsibility. It tells you, if you don't hurry, everything will fall apart. But presence tells you something different. You can do what matters without leaving yourself behind. Presence is not laziness. Presence is not giving up. Presence is doing one thing at a time, with your whole heart. It's drinking your coffee and actually tasting it. It's feeling your feet on the floor. It's looking out the window for 10 seconds and remembering you're alive. If you've spent years pushing, achieving, holding everything together, presence can feel unfamiliar, almost unsafe. But that's why it's medicine. Try this tomorrow morning. Before you check messages, do one small thing slowly. 1. Wash your hands and feel the water. Make your bed and feel the fabric. Stand by a window and look at the sky. Then say, "Today I choose presence over pressure." And notice, the day might still be full, but your inner world becomes less crowded. You stop living only in the future. You come back to the only place life actually happens, right here. Truth 5. I release my grip. This last one might be the hardest, because many of us have survived by holding tight, holding the family together, holding the finances together, holding ourselves together, and sometimes holding tight looks responsible. It looks like love, but it can also be fear. It can be the belief that if you loosen your grip, something bad will happen. So the 5th truth is not about giving up on your life. It's about releasing the kind of control that turns into suffering. I release my grip, or I'll take the next right step and let the rest unfold. Because the truth is, no one controls life. We plan, we prepare, we try our best. And then life does what life does. A health issue appears. Someone changes. A relationship shifts. A job ends. A season turns. In Buddhism, attachment isn't only about possessions. It's also attachment to outcomes. This must happen. They must understand. I must not fail. This day must go my way. And the tighter we hold, the tighter we feel inside. So tomorrow morning, try this. As you breathe in, feel where you're gripping. Maybe it's your jaw, maybe it's your belly, maybe it's your shoulders. Then say, I release my grip, not forever, just for today, just for this morning. And ask one honest question. What am I trying to control that I can't actually control? Let that question be gentle, not accusing, just clear. Because sometimes letting go isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's just unclenching. And when you unclench, life has room to move. You have room to breathe. A simple 2-minute morning practice. If you want something concrete, something you can actually do, here's a short practice. 2 minutes. That's it. Sit up in bed or in a chair. One hand on your chest. Take one slow inhale and one slow exhale. Now choose one of these truths, just one. Thoughts are not facts. I'm not starting from empty. I can stay centered in a loud world. Today I choose presence over pressure. I release my grip. Say it quietly. Then ask, what would it look like to live this truth for the next hour? Not for the whole day, just for the next hour. Because peace often returns in small pieces. Closing. If your life has taught you anything, it's probably this. You can't control what comes, but you can learn how to meet what comes. That's the heart of the Buddhist path. Not escaping life, not bypassing pain, but waking up inside it. So tomorrow morning when the mind starts talking, when the world starts knocking, when the pressure starts rising, remember, you don't have to enter the day already defeated. You can begin again, not perfectly, just gently. And if all you can do is take one breath and choose one sentence, that counts. Because peace doesn't always begin when the world calms down. Sometimes peace begins the moment you remember. There is a place in you that can watch the storm without becoming it. And for today, just for today, may you return to that place, kindly, one morning at a time.